This is the DJI Mini 5 Pro Fly More combo with DJI RC2. And I'm making this video because I needed a small drone that could deliver footage I'd actually be proud to edit into my travel and client projects. I've been through a few minis and mid-sized drones over the years, but I kept wishing for something that would slip into a side pocket and still give me clean highlights, usable low light, and reliable tracking without turning every flight into a chore. That's the hole I was trying to fill. In the lineup of compact drones, this sits on the premium side. It's not a bargain toy, and it's not as bulletproof as the big boys. It's meant for people who care about image quality, but don't want to carry a full drone case, which is basically me when I'm packing for a hike or a quick city shoot. If you're new to flying, it's approachable, but it definitely rewards someone who's willing to learn its quirks and work within them. Setup is quick in practice. The RC2 with the built-in screen is the star here, because I don't have to mount my phone or fight with cables. I just power on, wait a moment for GPS, and go. I do have a love-hate relationship with the gimbal cover. It protects the camera well, but getting it on and off without poking the gimbal feels fussy, and if I rush, the propellers don't always stay tucked. There's also a funny behavior where unfolding the rear arms can wake the drone up before I plan to fly, which speeds things up when I'm in a hurry, but catches me off guard when I'm just swapping cards. Speaking of cards, the microSD slot is tight and recessed. I can get it with my fingernail most days, but after a cold morning flight, I've used a key to pocket out. Now to what actually matters, the camera and the way this thing flies. The footage looks far better than it has any right to for something this small. I'm getting smooth highlight roll-off at sunset, and I can lift shadows without that gummy, chroma noise mess I've seen on older minis. The 4K at higher frame rates is genuinely useful. I've been slowing down waves in biking shots with clean detail. The true vertical gimbal rotation is clutch for quick social clips. I don't have to compromise resolution or do weird crops later. Night shooting is where I noticed the biggest jump. Street scenes at higher ISO still look presentable, and colors don't immediately turn to mush under mixed lighting. If you color grade, the log profile holds together in a way that lets you match to ground cameras without a fight. Flight feel is calm and precise on a clear day. Hover is steady, and the controls respond in a way that lets me frame confidently even when I'm trying to hit a very specific angle over a cliff or a rooftop. It's quiet enough that at around 30 meters up, it fades into the background, which is fantastic for candid scenes. Wind is the sticking point. When gusts pick up, the drone will fight to hold position, and you can sense it working. The gimbal does its best. But I've seen faint micro jitters on harsher days that take the polish off a cinematic shot. It can handle it, but my stress level goes up as the wind speed rises and battery drains faster. Obstacle sensing has been helpful, especially when I'm focused on framing instead of micromanaging every movement. It does a solid job around obvious objects, and it's surprisingly composed in low light. But thin branches and wires can still sneak up on it. ActiveTrack with the 360 interface is actually fun to use. I drag the wheel, set where I want the drone relative to me, and it handles passes and orbits in a way that feels like I just picked up a second operator. Over water at very low altitude, I still fly manually and keep a careful eye on altitude drift. It's an assist, not a safety net. Battery life, for me, has landed short of the lofty claims you read on the box. On normal days, I land between the low 20s in minutes to keep a safe reserve, with better numbers when it's calm and cooler. The combo's extra batteries make the whole package work because one pack is not enough for a focused shoot. The charging hub is convenient for getting multiple packs topped off between outings, and I've timed about a few hours to flip all three from low to full. One thing I do avoid is leaving the drone powered on at the desk for long transfers or updates without airflow. It can run hot just sitting there. I've learned to move files fast, then power down, or use a small fan if I'm doing firmware. Storage has saved me once already. There's generous internal memory, and it's not a gimmick. I forgot my SD card on a sunrise shoot, realized it after takeoff, and kept rolling without missing the moment. That said, when I do use an SD card, it's picky. Standard slow cards throw warnings. V30 or better has been my rule, and I label them to avoid mixing them with older cards in my kit. Signal and control have been mostly stable. I've flown out to comfortable distances in mixed environments without seeing the feed collapse into noise. I did have a single scary disconnect around a dense neighborhood park, where the map looked like a spaghetti bowl of Wi-Fi. The RTH kicked in, and the connection came back before it got dramatic, but it was a reminder not to rely on range claims more than common sense. Compared to my previous Mini 4 Pro, this is a noticeable step up in the look of the footage, especially at sunset and at night. Colors grade nicer, and the detail doesn't fall apart when I push it. The Mini 4 Pro was easier on nerves in wind than I expected from a small drone, but this one still acts like a tiny airframe in gusts, just with a better camera bolted to the front. Versus an Air Series drone I've used on commercial days. The Air sits in the sky with more authority and stays cooler during ground work, but it takes up more space in a small pack, and the ready-to-fly speed with a phone-based controller never matches the convenience of the RC2. I also prefer the noise profile on the Mini for low-key locations. If I'm hiking miles or traveling light, I'm picking the Mini. If I'm on a windy coastline or a job where I know I'll be hovering a lot, I grab the larger drone. I do want to mention weight because it matters. The labeling says sub 250 grams, and that's a selling point in some places. My unit, with a card inserted, came in right around the edge on my scale. Depending on your local rules, you may need to handle registration anyway. I'm not giving legal guidance here, just sharing what I saw so you can make an informed call. The Fly More combo itself makes sense. 3 batteries, ND filters that actually help lock shutter for cinematic motion blur, spare props, the charging hub, and that RC2 controller make the package feel complete. The RC2 screen is bright enough most days, but on a harsh noon sun, I duck into shade or throw a matte screen protector on it to cut reflections. Is it worth it? For me, yes, because I value packability and image quality more than wind brute force or long hover sessions. I get footage I'm proud of from a drone that lives in my bag all the time, and that means I actually use it. If you want a no-stress flyer for rough weather, this might frustrate you. If you want a small rig that punches above its size with real gradable video and clean stills, it earns its keep. Just plan on quality SD cards, expect realistic battery life, and treat the gimbal cover with patience. That's my take. If you have questions about settings, accessories that helped, or you want me to compare it side by side with my older Mini and the Air on a windy day, drop a comment and I'll try to cover it in a future video. I will post full information about the DJI Mini 5 Pro Fly More combo with DJI RC2 in the comments section. See you in the following videos.